Hi, everybody. My name is Dan Whitehead. I'm the writer, director, producer of Life Undefined. I basically wrote what I had access to or wrote what I knew and came up with this concept of someone who just out of college trying to find his spot in the world and something I can really relate to because I literally was in that or still am technically, and I really wanted to kind of explore this strange territory that a lot of people my age find themselves in, where it's kind of like, what do I do now? What do I do next? And that was interesting to find. And I kind of joked that it was the easiest script I ever written. It all kind of stemmed back to why I got into filmmaking as well, which was to really tell interesting stories that kind of meant something and more than just entertained. I mean, obviously I wanted people to be entertained, and I hope you were with this, but I also kind of wanted to tell stories that meant something and that somebody could get something out of. And
Mi van?
Még nem fejeztük be az ebédet, ülj szépen vissza a helyedre. Nagyon nagy öröm volt, amikor Patrik megkeresett azzal, hogy szerepeljek a vizsgafilmjében. A figura rendkívül közel áll hozzám, hiszen én magam is édesanyja vagyok, nekem is van 2 kamasz fiam. Nehéz, azt gondolom, hogy nekünk felnőtteknek ezzel a helyzettel mit kezdeni. Tudomásul kell venni, előbb-utóbb nyilvánvalóan túl lesznek ezen a történeten, de hogy erről szól a kamaszkor, hogy ezeket a dolgokat saját magunknak kell megélnünk, és hiába mondják az okos felnőttek a maguk dolgát, csak abból tudunk tanulni, amit magunk is megélünk, abból tudunk építkezni, és azt tudjuk javítani.
És mi van olyan fontos dolog a szobádban, Petikém?
Mi hát az a hülye videójáték, ami más? Egész nap más se csinál, csak azt nyomogatja.
Ez nem igaz.
Egész délelőtt ki se dugtad az orrodat a szobádból. Legalább 5-ször szóltam, hogy segíts, de te meg se hallottad. A rövidfilmnek az a specialitása van, hogy kevés idő alatt kell egy egész történetet, vagy egy egész élethelyzetet elmesélnie. Ettől borzasztóan koncentrált, és nagyon, nagyon nagy professzionalizmust igényel. Ráadásul a fiatal alkotóknak, akiknek arra még nincs lehetőségük, hogy egy egész estés játékfilmet megcsináljanak, ez egy csodálatos lehetőség arra, hogy kipróbálják magukat. Iszonyatosan fontos műhelymunka is, meg szakmailag is egy nagyon, nagyon értékes dolog.
Good morning from Vancouver. I'm Stephen Kammerer, and I am the director of Veda.
I'm Julie Bruns. I starred as Zeta.
And we co-wrote it together.
We are so honored to have been able to bring this incredible woman's life to the screen. For years, we have been wondering, why on earth does Ada Lovelace not already have her own biopic?
And what an incredible story it is. She wrote the world's first computer program in 1843, 100 years before computers existed. She devoted her life to a vision of what it could be, facing great odds, mid-Victorian sexism, the onset of cancer. She died young, and she needed her story told. We were flabbergasted that there has been nothing done about her yet.
She truly is the mother of modern computing. We are also incredibly grateful to over 100 people we had working in our cast and crew, and these people are what made the film what it is today. So thank you so much to each and every one of you.
And thank you.
Hi, my name is Lisa Marie Tedesco. I am the writer-producer of August in the City.
Hello, I am Christy Canicella. I am the director of August in the City. We want to talk a little bit about the filmmaking journey. This film is up for an award from your vault, so it won't be surprising to you to know that we shot this in 2016. And I mean, the amount of time and things that have happened since 2016 is kind of shocking, but 2016 is kind of where my friendship with Lisa started. And it was such a great experience. I had never shot with a New York crew before, and I was just so grateful for the people we had working with us. And I think that all the artistic talent and Lisa's incredible producing and writing, I think that really created such a special film that I am so proud to have directed.
Yeah, the journey for me, it was interesting because I was just getting my feet wet with filmmaking as a whole, and I didn't really feel comfortable taking that first leap yet. And when I met Christy and Mandala, I was like, oh, these are the people I think I want to start my next step with. And I instantly presented them with this idea of August in the City, which actually started as a short story from my mom. And I took it, and I basically, the entire beginning of the film is her story. And, I wanted, family to be really important. And they even came to set, they hung out, they definitely were an integral part.
It was so fun.
Nan and Bill, yeah. They came by. Yeah, it's amazing because if you think about it, 4 years have already gone by, and the amazing strides that this film has just made. We've gone all over the world with it. We've released it online. We've gotten thousands of comments and views, and just people just embracing this beautiful story. And I'm so happy of where it's gone, where it's going, and where it's going to end up.
What's the message of your film, or what would you like people to think about after seeing it?
Helping others out, no matter what they are, and opening up and letting people in, because Coyote never liked anybody, but he opened up to boxing, never regretted it.
Working together, that it was really fun and enjoyable.
The message was to never be afraid to ask your neighbors for help, that sometimes people get really scared of asking people because maybe they look scary, but also during the time of tragedy, it's always really important for us to reach out so that we could, overcome all this sadness, because when you lose your village, you have to rebuild. So, they made some friendships in these stories, and that never-ending friendship is more important than material things that burnt up. Bo and Yosha's story was such a healing tool for these youngsters to be able to tell a story without telling exactly what happened that night. It was a safe way to tell what healing they were able to overcome with characters and their creativity and their imagination.
Is there anyone you'd like to dedicate your film to?
Our ancestors that came before us, and to the people we lost this year.
My mom, my tribe, and my ancestors.
My family, the community, and people that helped us.
Hi everyone, my name is Marcus Durian, and I am the writer, director, and cinematographer of the short film Fishhead. Fishhead is a turbulent Filipino-American coming-of-age story, and a big part of the journey in making this film was actually the casting. The reality is that, up until recently, there wasn't really a talent pool of Filipino-American actors, let alone a young one. I felt confident about finding the adults, but everything really rested on finding a young actor to play Milo. And I didn't want to cast someone that looked or that could pass as Filipino-American. It was very important to me to cast someone that was. And lucky for us, after 2.5 months, we found Madison Rojas. I think beyond the story, beyond the subject matter, one of the important things about making the film was to represent Filipino Americans. That representation is very important, not only to me as a filmmaker, but I'm sure a lot of other filmmakers, because you don't really see that in film or television. And as a Filipino American filmmaker, that's always been important to me. In some ways, I kind of knew, or have always known, that if I wanted to see that representation on screen, I would have to make it. I'd have to put it there. When I first tried to make this film, it was as a feature, and at the time, no one was interested in making it as I had written, as I had intended. And I was asked several times to change the ethnicity of the main characters. And as a younger filmmaker, I thought, oh, well, that's what I have to do in order to succeed. But I learned really fast that in the process of doing that, I was erasing my voice, I was erasing me, and I was erasing my culture out of the script. And, it wasn't something I was willing to do. I think that's one of the important things about short films is that it gives filmmakers a voice that wouldn't necessarily have one within the Hollywood system.
Hi, I'm Christy Canicella. I am the producer of House of La Reine.
Hi, my name is Lisa Marie Tedesco, and I am the screenwriter, director, producer of House of Lorraine. And we just wanted to say thank you for including us this year at the SOFIE Awards. We're thrilled to be here. Just wanted to talk about a little bit about the mission, the story of House of Lorraine, and what we wanted to accomplish with it. And I think for me as a filmmaker, producing and making films that are very female, empowering, and LGBTQ forward has always been something very important and necessary for the community and the world to see. And I think House of Lorraine definitely encompasses that with a very strong female character that, you see them struggle through the film to come into their own, but by the end you see them bust through and become who they were meant to be. And I think that's definitely an important message for us with this film.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think mine is kind of more on the surface. I was really excited to do something so experimental. You don't see I guess now with the period pieces that are coming out, you see it a bit more, but we went in and our incredible DP, Carrie, she went straight in and said she wanted to shoot on film. So it was definitely a first experience in a lot of ways for me. And I think what came out was a really special project that about the LGBTQ community where they can relate to people in widespread.
Hello everyone, this is Joseph McGovern, writer, producer, director of short film Hush, nominated Best Short Film from the Vault for SOFIE Awards. And Hush is a experimental, silent drama thriller about the hashtag #MeToo movement, and also brings into conversation pro-life, pro-choice that follows after the unfortunate circumstance. Also, it's a good example in short filmmaking of being able to keep your creative liberties intact and create the type of product that you wanted to create from start to finish. And short filmmaking is a very important form because it helps guide filmmakers not only to prepare for a feature film in the future, but practice and find your team, hone in your skill set, and learn. I appreciate independent film the most because they take the most risks and they're in control of their entire story. Most of the time, they're not going to lose their creative liberties just for the sake of monetary value. And that means very much a lot to me as a filmmaker, which is why I travel down the independent route. That way I can create the stories I want to create.
Hi, I'm Katie McNeese, and I'm the filmmaker behind In Orbit, which is nominated for 3 SOFIEs this year. My film is a nostalgic but art house look at an elderly woman looking back on the greatest experience of her life and being interviewed about it, and that experience is just learning to love. So it's a very simple story. It's my debut film, it's self-funded, and it's one of those projects where the director, just out of total necessity and because of lack of finance, ends up taking on most, if not all, of the roles. And although it was incredibly difficult, creating In Orbit as a filmmaker has just been a life-changing experience. And what happened was I wanted to write a personal film, an LGBT film, which I could stand over and which I thought the community needed and which I would love to see. And then when I was looking at things like Netflix and other platforms like that, and even like Mubi and that kind of thing, I was looking for other LGBT films as a reference, and I noticed that as I was doing that all the other faces were young. And that didn't sit right with me. I was about 26 or 27 when I first started writing this. And so I made the decision, a very conscious decision, to write a film about an older woman having an LGBT experience, purely because it would have been selfish of me as an LGBT person trying to make a film for the betterment of the community and for cinema to do something of someone my own age, just because it might have suited me. And so from there I reached out to LGBT Ireland. I did a lot of research to be sure I could get this experience right, like people in their 70s and 80s, obviously I don't know a whole lot about that. And what happened was I got this insight that I couldn't really let go of. And I realised that there are people in rural Ireland, and I'm sure in the US and across Europe as well, who are living on their own in these small houses. They've never been on a date, they've never held anyone's hand, and they will die alone in those quiet houses. And that's kind of what became the essence of the film, and it's why the film is dedicated to the people who've loved and the people who couldn't. It's something that's stuck with me from the get-go, from the script, and honestly part of the reason this film has changed my life is because it's communicated with people on that level and for that reason.
Hi, my name is Jay Palmieri Jr., and I'm the writer, producer, director, and stylist of Leia.
Hey everyone, my name is Jess Davis. I play Harlow in the film Leia, directed by Jay Palmieri Jr. and produced by the one and only Danielle Earl. I don't know why that was so dramatic, but it was.
The importance of the film, I just really wanted to bring back that that style, like that Argento, Bava, supernatural style when it comes to like supernatural horror. And I think we accomplished that, yeah, because everyone that watched it so far pretty much likes it, especially even like people that aren't really big into horror. Because I know like the film is more, I would say more of a thriller, and then the last 10 minutes is where it dives into like the supernatural.
I think the importance of the film goes into, you know, what I explained about the characters and them being powerful women. I think it's important to show women in positions of power, even if their power isn't fully realized. Like, I don't think initially we see Leia's character as being inherently powerful. We see her as being a gold digger of sorts, right? But she's strategizing, she's being strategic, and I think that even women who are gold diggers, whether or not you agree with their power, it's a very powerful position, because they are strategizing. So I think the importance of the film is to show women in positions where people have often discredited their power, and showing that they are in fact powerful.
And I think short film is an important art form, because I think it's interesting that you can be able to make an audience feel like they fulfilled a journey, even in a short amount of runtime compared to a feature.
I mean, I think that you can still be concise in a 2-hour film, but when you're doing it in a short film, you're adjusting so many things, so many variables need to be adjusted in order for the actual story to be conveyed accurately and in a way that people receive it.
Hi everybody, my name is Kelly McAdams. I am the writer, director, and producer of Lucky Day.
Hi, my name is Autumn Brill. I play the role of Jax in Lucky Day.
My name is Adam Cooley, and I play Rick in Lucky Day.
My name is Brianna Page. I was the assistant set dresser, so I assisted Kat Parker with really kind of setting up the scenes, making sure that the props were in the appropriate places, making sure they looked natural. and also ensuring continuity.
Hi, I'm Al Washington. I was one of the set decorators slash props for Lucky Day.
Lucky Day involves two best friends, Jax and Leanne, who stop at nothing to win the heart of a look-alike of their favorite presidential candidate, Jamie Andrews, who they just adore because he's so gorgeous. And really, that's it. And so they go about breaking things in their home to convince him to come over and fix them, so that especially Jax can really win his heart. And Leanne's kind of her sidekick through it all, and together they kind of cause a bit of chaos, but they also have a bit of good luck, and maybe it's perhaps their lucky day after all.
Jax was a real treat. She's obviously a lot of fun and irreverent and crude and just unfiltered, as some people in our modern political arena tend to be as well.
My favorite part of making the film is working, number one, on location. We got to take over this woman's house on the eastern shore of Maryland and basically turn it into, with the brilliant design of Kelly McAdams, we turned her living room into kind of like this podunk, ramshackle woman's house who was obsessed with the politician Jamie Andrews. And they took huge posters and big cutout cardboard heads of me, because I also play this look-alike character named Jamie Andrews in the film, and they put them everywhere. And we all had so much fun basically creating this whole world in this woman's living room.
I mean, the whole day was just fun, but my favorite part was one of the props. We had to make it look like dog feces. It was definitely one of my favorite parts because it looked so real. But that's what I love about working in the art department.
My favorite part has to be when the characters started smashing food and just tearing the food apart. So the fortune cookies, the chicken, just everything. That was great. We just had a ton of fun. It's almost like you're setting up dominoes and waiting for it to fall. You're waiting for that marble to come in and topple everything, and that's what was happening.
Short filmmaking to me is so important because it's a lot about problem solving, and you really get a chance to put your ultimate art form self into this project, because you're kind of thinking like, how can these big resources that people have that you might not be able to get, how can you crunch that down into something small, and how can you make it work for short art forms? It kind of feels like the ultimate expression of film to me personally. Winning a SOFIE Award means, so much creativity, collaboration, understanding of each other's crew members, and trust in other artists that you work with and who want to work with you and bring your idea to life. So just the ultimate form of collaboration and appreciation for that collaboration in art.
Hi, this is Jason from the Placer County Museums, ready to answer some questions about our short film, Mastering the Mountains. We've always wanted to expand into making short films as a museum, just to help get our local stories out there in a way that people would enjoy, and to make it so a wider audience can see the kind of things we have. So we had decided to make a film, and then the 150th anniversary of the Transcontinental Railroad snuck up on us, and we thought, oh, perfect. What a great topic for a film. So we made a little movie about trains. I love short film, especially in this day and age. A long film, if we had decided to do an hour-and-a-half long documentary, I think we'd still be fighting about the script. Whereas with a short, 10 minutes, not a problem. We can figure out what fits in a 10-minute box and what we can throw out and where the focus has to be.
Hi everyone, my name is Miguel Mike Medina. I'm the director, producer, writer, and leading actor of my comedy short film, Neighbors, Breakups, and Surprises. Um, it was very, very fun doing this project. It's my first full-blown comedy short that I did, and I always wanted to take a crack at it to see if I could do it. And ever since we filmed this movie, it has gotten a lot of positive feedback from film festivals, friends, colleagues, family members. I believe in you have to tell your story your way, and you have to create your own projects. You just have to.
Hi, my name is Zhang Xinwen. I'm from China. I'm a director. I'm happy making movies. Film is the meaning of my life. I help human beings cultivate all their attitudes towards animals, snail, short film. The short film can let movie people experience their attitudes the world. I hope the world will be more and more beautiful in the future. My English is poor. I hope you understand. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
My name is Brian Ribeiro. I wrote, directed, and edited Phosphine. The journey to making that was a bunch of different little inspirations kind of came together. One was about trying to signify fantasy elements like superpowers, but treating them more as a symptom of someone's personality. And someone who I think represents a lot of insecurities, the creative, the artist, is someone who, like myself, can be made to be a very interesting character on film. A big important part of that was to try and designate certain issues that I find me and my fellow creatives deal with on a daily basis, our anxieties, our addictions and stuff. I've shared it with some artists, some fellow creatives, and they have told me, much to my surprise, that they were hit hard with it. The struggle of seeing someone go through something, someone who has to express themselves through their art form when they go through something traumatic and they have to channel that somewhere. Phosphine helped, apparently was showed a mirror to their outlet, which was an amazing compliment to really get. Films and short films in general are a very important outlet because I think, like almost any other channel, you can express yourself freely. It doesn't have to be something that you have to commit to so big like a feature-length film, and it's not so small like a written script. You have to actually cast people and see how your story is visualized. And you still get the grace and privilege of seeing your ideas projected, which is an amazing thing. I love filmmaking for that reason. It's a very much a selfish reason, and it's helped me process a lot of feelings I've had.
My name is Kevin Machadi. I wrote, produced, and directed the film Promise Me. It is a short about the concept of death with dignity. It's about a woman who wants to end her life on her own terms. She's dying of some unnamed illness that, what I know as lung cancer, but we didn't name it in the film, and she just didn't want to end her life in misery and in pain. And so the big conflict is partly that it's not legal in Texas, and that's where the film is being that's where it's set. It's a very controversial topic. There are a lot of places that won't play it. The film, I mean. In fact, I know I got rejected from several festivals very quickly when they saw what it was about, and they said no. I did ask a Grammy Award winning producer to work on the music for me, and he declined because he actually produces gospel music, and he did not believe in the concept of death with dignity. He said it was well done and everything, but he just could not put his name on it. So we had a little bit of a challenge there in some areas, but overall it did really well. It screened in probably at 19 or 20 countries, and it won more than 30 awards. This is our 85th festival or event. It is the final event for this film, so this is our grand finale. It's the very last time that it's going to screen anywhere. It's an older film. I actually submitted it from the vault because we've actually been here with this film before in 2016 when it was nominated for a SOFIE for writing. I didn't make that one. I have actually been to the SOFIES before in the very first year. I was there with another film in 2014, and that was a very eventful night. I was staying across the street over on Broome Street, across from Broadway, from the Scholastic Theater on Broadway, which is where it was being held at the time. And Laverne Cox had a big protest march down Broadway from Washington Square Park, and 6 million people decided to walk that way that day and that evening, and it shut everything down. And even being a block away, I had a hard time getting across the street. My friend who was coming with me, she was coming in a taxi from Long Island City, and she had a really hard time getting there too. We eventually did get there, but it was much smaller than anyone anticipated, just because nobody could get there. So I got nominated that year for Best Comedy and didn't win. But this is my third time here, and hopefully the third time's a charm. I did actually plan on attending, but obviously none of us are doing that. There's a lot of people that say short films aren't really worth it, but I disagree. For me, it is it's a way to be able to continue to make films when I just don't have the resources and time to make a feature. I would rather make a 7-minute film and spend a couple of months working on it in pre-production, production, and then post-production, and then have that ready to go and have something to do something with, rather than spend a year and a half writing a script and then spend another year trying to raise money and then spend 6 months trying to piece it together. And by the time you're done, you've spent 5 years working on this movie, and then it doesn't get picked up. Nobody distributes it. So I feel like there is more opportunity with short films to lead into other things.
Hi, I'm Tommy Clark. I am the director and co-writer of the short film Reappear, which is luckily nominated for a few SOFIEs this year. This was my first attempt at writing and making a short film, so the journey that I've been on has been incredible, and I've learned a hell of a lot. I think I'm realising that's what you're going to do on short films. You're going to learn a hell of a lot. So to be up for a few SOFIEs is magical. Actually, it's a really important award that I wanted to aim for when I first started on this journey 18 months ago. I stumbled across Film Freeway and then straight into finding the Short Film Awards, and I kind of put my sights on it early. I was like, I wanted to win a SOFIE, and getting a little bit closer with the nominations. So that's been a brilliant accolade to have on our poster. This was a long journey to get this film made, and it couldn't have been done without my producer, Mark Stothert. He was the first guy that I sat down with and said, listen, I have an idea for a film. How on earth do I get it made? And from that first meeting, we built a great team together with our cinematographer, Lorenzo Lavrini, and we got some amazing actors in Freddie Wise, Elise Chappell, Linda Stewart Wilson, and Portia Leslie. And of course, Ernie the motorbike, although he was a bit temperamental. I hope you enjoy the film as much as I enjoyed making it. And please reach out on social media. We're Reappear Film, or I'm Tommy.Clark on Instagram. And I look forward to show you what we're working on next in due course. But for now, enjoy Reappear, and thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Danny Ashkenazi, the director and producer of The Telltale Heart, a musicale, for which I also compose the music and in which I play the part of the narrator. The Telltale Heart, a musicale is, as the made-up word musicale suggests, a macabre musical or a gothic chamber opera. It's adapted from Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Telltale Heart, and pretty much every word in the original story will be heard, spoken, or sung in this film. Only minor changes have been made, some contractions with apostrophes, some repetitions, and in one instance, a whole bunch of synonyms for extra effect. I'd like to thank the Short Film Awards for nominating us as Best Long Short Film, and for our technical work and for our styling, which allows me to give a shout out to our cinematographer Jason Chua, our editor Stolas Hajicharambos, our sound mixer Todd Mackey, and the coloring and VFX work of Austin Lepre, as well as the production design of Nicholas Calais and the costume design of Anthony Paul Cavaretta. And finally, big thank you and love to my husband Edward Elder, who not only co-produces with Henry Borriello, but also plays the part of the old man, which allows me to murder him in multiple takes, which was fun.
Hi, I'm Hannah Garcia, the writer and director.
Tony Lindsay, producer.
My name is Christopher Prado, and I play the role of Adam.
Mia Inez Adams, Colleen, also Havana Slay.
Tanisha Ray, Shayna.
And we are
Yellow Rose.
The making of Yellow Rose took me on a very emotional and important journey, one that I will never forget. My grandmother, her favorite flowers were yellow roses, and her memory will forever live on within all of the beautiful and supportive and loving characters that surround Shayna. Yellow Rose isn't just important to me. It is important to so many people out there who are suffering from depression, alcoholism, and the loss of a loved one. The cast and crew put our hearts and our souls into making Yellow Rose so that we could tell a unique story and allow people to heal. It is truly incredible the impact that Yellow Rose has already had. I've gotten many messages, emails, texts from people telling me how it has moved them to tears, how they can feel my grandmother's presence, and how beautiful they think the film is, and that's all that you can ask as a filmmaker. Short films are a perfect art form. You don't have to have all the connections in the world to make a short film. You can be any age, at any stage in your life. You don't have to have a whole bunch of money. You don't have to be in Hollywood to make a short film. It's beautiful. You can use all of the imagination and creativity that your heart and your mind can muster up, and you can shoot it. You can make it. You can make it come to life, and then show it to your friends and family, share it with the rest of the world, and change people's lives in a matter of 5, 10, 20 minutes. It's truly a perfect art form.
I'm professionally known as Cuete Esca. I'm a musician, actor. I got into film, I would say about nine years ago. I was working on this film where I was a stand-in, and I just wanted to be involved in acting any kind of way possible. So they told me to come down and be a stand-in. I was like, all right, cool, man, I can't wait. So I drove, I was like 50 miles each way for 2 weeks straight just to stand there while the actor does his acting. I was just standing there, and I was excited about it. I couldn't get enough of that, and I was just soaking everything in that people were doing on set. And I fell in love with it. You know, I had went through a series of panic attacks, and I didn't really know what was wrong with me. I was always scared. I was always suffering. I couldn't breathe. I would always want to just tell whoever was around me my last rites, because I felt like that was it for me. So I'd grab onto them and tell them, hey, listen, tell my kids I love them, or I love you, and this is why, and tell my mom I love her, you know. And I just wanted to get that story out there, and I just ended up wanting to write something about it to help people. And I remember my brother told me, I told my brother, I'm gonna hire someone to write this story, and I'm gonna film it. He was like, well, what are you gonna hire someone else to do it for? Why can't you do it? And I was like, I don't know how to write a movie. He's like, how many albums do you have out? You got like 20 albums out. You could write it yourself. And I started thinking, yeah, you know what, I probably could write it myself. You know, I've been writing songs my whole life. I probably have over 300 songs to my credit, and I'm just gonna write one long song. And I figured it out.
You ever heard of that saying, action speaks louder than words?
Yeah. I always thought that was bullshit.
But it's not. I believe a man's life is defined by his actions. I guess when I met Kwete, we were doing something else. But then when he called me and asked me about doing the turnaround, it was something different, because I guess I've been in a situation where, you know, I've had mild panic attacks. So personally, it kind of touched me in a place where, oh, this is going to be cool. I'm going to do something with these panic attacks or whatever. And, you know, we went into the whole thing. I read the script, and it had a lot of really good information in it. And then we finished, and we finished the movie, and everything was fine. And then, like, I don't know, maybe a little while after that, my 19-year-old daughter graduated from high school, and I don't think she was quite, had quite thought about the fact that she was going to become a freshman in college again. And after her first year in college, she started having panic attacks. And it was really interesting, because I literally had forgot that I had made this film, The Turnaround. I forgot about it. And I was trying to, you know, I was looking around. Did I call you? I think I called Kwete. And I called him, and I was like, dude, didn't we do that? And how do you handle this? And what it was, and I talked to him about it. So, I mean, personally, like, I have a personal reference for what this movie is about and the effects it can have on people.
I'm really thankful for all of the people that have come and part of this team. I'm really thankful for Kwete and his amazing ability to connect to people and inspire them to work that way. The digital sort of revolution that took place in around 2008 really opened up a world to me that I really didn't see my way into before that. And since I've been involved in film, it's the most fulfilling pursuit that I have. It's the directing films, creating films, writing, cinematography, editing. I feel like touches the most parts of me at once, more than anything.
The only people who ever comment on the shots are maybe other cinematographers, because that's what they're looking at. And I feel like I get too much credit sometimes, because there'll be one where they're saying, like, that shot of Kwete, of B, his character, in the bathroom where he's looking into the mirror, and you got that little sliver there, and it kind of has that effect, and that part's amazing, you know, like, we really love that shot. And I was like, I'm getting too much credit, because the reason they love that shot is Kwete was in the moment. I mean, you just see it, and it's not even a dialogue moment, just acting. I think some of the best actors are the ones that are able to portray emotion without saying anything. And he has the range in this film, from the most subtle moments to the outrageous moments, to moments where he's just looking at himself in the mirror, and it's just the most powerful performance. When I think of that, seeing that in the script, and seeing how Jamal envisioned it, and how what I brought to it, and how Kwete performed that to me is like the moment that just like reminds me of the incredible collaborative experience. And that's the reason why I got into filmmaking in the first place.
Hi, my name is Lucena Herrera. I play Christy in The Turnaround.
I was gonna ask you, remember in high school you had those weird-ass episodes in class? You'd flip out and have to go home early? Were those?
Panic attacks? Yeah. Are you okay? Short films, I love short films. You know, short films pretty much isolate a feeling, a moment. It gives a great push to something like that. If you want to make an impact, it's direct. And short films do that for me. They're raw, extremely raw, and that's what we need more of. Reality, we need to reflect that reality. And I think it's great. The importance of the turnaround, for me, the message that we're trying to convey is, that it's okay. A lot of people do suffer from panic attacks, anxiety, depression, especially within the current climate.
I don't feel good.
I think this film came out at the perfect time. It makes it okay for people to see somebody that, like Cuete, tough, but in an extremely vulnerable state, which is reality.
Christmas time. I'm out of here, fools. Wait, you don't want half of this?
My name is Drew Kapner. I am a composer, writer, producer in Los Angeles, California, and I am the composer and sound designer for The Turnaround. My friend Cuete, who I've known for, a long time. We've known each other a really long time and have been involved in each other's lives creatively for a long time. As long as I've worked with Cuete, there's never been ego involved. It's always been about keeping it 100 and everybody playing the role and knowing what their role is and working together to make it work. So for me, it was an honor to work with you guys.
With my affiliation with the recording studio, I had done some music videos and things and began editing and got enough skills together, as it were, to actually, attempt something like that. The film itself seemed really important to me because of a subject matter that isn't addressed all that much in film, and the delivery, who's delivering this message, and how are we going to portray somebody as having to deal with these issues, but then also deal with their background of who they are and who society thinks they're supposed to be. It was a great experience for me, being one of my first times editing a film and being able to collaborate and just get support from everybody that was involved.